All right, everybody. I love this time of year because we all get to gather in the same room, and I feel like I'm with 160 of my closest friends. So thanks a lot for coming. A couple little footnotes to put out there for you. If you guys didn't get a little slip when you checked in your luggage, make sure to see Catherine Davis. She'll have a ticket that'll allow you to get your luggage out when it's time to check in. So that would be good. Have everyone downloaded the app that we have available so that you get the agenda and any updates that we make to the agenda? If you haven't, on your mobile device, go ahead to that bit.ly URL so that you can download the app and stay together with us. Throughout the entire event, make sure that you go ahead and use the hashtag EXPWLD for Expander World whenever you guys are posting any social media images or thoughts and feedback. And don't hesitate to just tell it like it is. Give us the truth, tell us what you think, put it out there on social media because we want you to have a good experience, and it allows us, if you're not having a good experience, for us to follow up with you and be able to improve on what we're doing wrong. With that app, you got a couple different functions and features. Of course, the agenda is the primary thing that you want to use this for. You want to be able to go up and figure out what sessions you're going to see and attend. Today, we're going to stay in this room, and I'll cover all of that in just a minute. Continuing on with the app, though, make sure to click on the evaluate icon down at the bottom and tell us what you think. At the end of today, go ahead and click on the icon for evaluate day 1 and tell us your thoughts about the information that we put out to you today. Each one of the session time slots for tomorrow have their own evaluation button, so go ahead and click on them. When you drill down into it, you'll see you got the opportunity to choose which session that you're providing feedback on. So we really appreciate that. Today we're going to be here in the Scandinavia scene, all day long. The bathrooms are towards the back, so are the emergency exits. And there's also storage back there for your jackets and any of the luggage that didn't get put into the luggage room outside. You can go ahead and put that in the back today, and it should be safe. At lunchtime, when we go to lunch, we'll go ahead and lock this room up, so only a couple of the staff members who have keys can get in and out. Tomorrow, we're going to be over on the other side of the hotel. And we've got a big room back there for the main popular sessions, telemark, and then the 2 rooms, Eidsvold and Skatterak, is going to be reserved for, it's 2 different rooms, but it's all merged together to hold a large audience, and then Bergen will be for the smaller sessions. For today, during the breaks, we're going to go ahead and have snacks brought into us here. There will be some snacks this afternoon to hold you over between the later part of the event today and dinner tonight, and they'll be coming through towards the end of Eric and Svada's session. For tomorrow, all of the snacks will be reserved and served down in the other end of the hotel in the conference center in the foyer down there. For those who said that they specified that they had allergies when they were registering, you'll notice that in your agenda, in your name tags, behind your name tag, you'll find an allergy sheet specifying your allergy. So go ahead and take this out when you go and have lunch today, and also keep it when you go and have dinner today, and just put it on the place in front of you. The server will recognize that and give you the appropriate meal. Tonight, we're going to be going to the Rodens Bistro and Bar, which is down on Karl Johan, almost all the way down to Oslo S. So we're going to be exiting the hotel. We're going to meet up first in the lobby at 18:15. At 18:30, we're going to exit the hotel, take a left, go down by the Palace, and then take a left directly down on Karl Johan, go all the way down, almost all the way to Central Station to reach the hotel. You've got directions right there in front of you, so you can go ahead and take it with you so you don't get lost. Also, the bonds that you received inside your name badges, those are good for both here at the hotel, in case you want to drink after the event today, or tonight after dinner. Those will be good for both the hotel and at the Rodin's Bistro and Bar. Now, this year we've had to make a few changes. Everyone knows, now we've shortened it to 2 days. Why did you make it only 2 days? It's a pretty common question. The 2 days was primarily because, based on feedback that we've gotten in the past, the feedback has been, specifically, 3 days is a long time to be sending our guys to Oslo for a conference. It's expensive, especially if you're a consultant and you're in billable hours. So we changed that. We toned it down to 2 days, but this also meant some sacrifices. And that is to the partners that usually have the stands and also the ability to have a session to be able to speak about their integrations with SuperOffice and the great products that they've built. For that, please don't eat me. I apologize. And if you didn't know, the partners is Hannibal, and I'm the kitty cat apologizing. Some good news is for Expander World 2018, next year, I've waited 10 years to be able to tell you this, where we're going to be next year. So this year, we're down here, downtown. SuperOffice is here. We're here at the event at Radisson. And next year, we're going to be up at the brand new Ton Hotel up in Storo. It's being built right now. My colleague Catherine and I were out visiting the other day, making sure that it would be ready just for us next year. Registration for that event is going to be open in August of 2018. That I promise you. We've got a great organization, company that we're working with now, and I feel much more confident and comfortable telling you these things a year in advance. So it's going to be great, and I can't wait to see you again next year. But before we get there, let's go ahead and get this event started.
Here at SuperOffice, we're passionate about CRM software. We think we make the best CRM software in the universe. It's our founding father, Una Amundsen, that started SuperOffice back in 1990. He has been a source of inspiration for over 25 years. Una's spirit will forever run through SuperOffice. This is where we live. This is our headquarters in Oslo, right next door to the King of Norway. He must be thrilled to live next door to SuperOffice. We also live here, here, and here, and here. Regardless of where you go or who you meet, you'll find that we're straightforward and down-to-earth people. We're good listeners. What you have to say is important to us, and we want to hear it. And if you ask us for feedback, we'll give it to you in a constructive way, and always with good intentions in mind. Our mantra here at SuperOffice is less is more. We're all about keeping things simple. When it's simple for you, it's simple for us. At SuperOffice, you're not a number. You're a person, and we appreciate you for it. Except for this guy. He's a number. He's our number one, and the CEO of SuperOffice. His name is Gisle Jentoft. Here at SuperOffice, we are one big, happy family, and we truly are a band of great, colorful, and awesome people. This guy spends his holidays underground, in a cave. She features in a reality TV show about other TV shows. This guy is Dutch. He eats nothing but sandwiches because that's what Dutch people do. These guys support the wrong football club but play a mean game of foosball. She gets up at 4 a.m. to go for a run every day. This is where the big decisions are made. Here, they make sure we get paid on time every month, so don't joke around with these people. Just kidding. They do have a sense of humor. And this is the marketing department. They create awesome content, like this video. No, that's not a Star Wars movie. It's our R&D department. It's these bright heads that make SuperOffice a better product. Let's meet our sales team. They'll show you how SuperOffice can help you to find, catch, and keep more customers. And when you decide to join us, they'll have a little celebration. The CX team will do everything they can to give you a customer experience of a lifetime. Yes, what they do is all for free. These people are ready to help you get the most out of your SuperOffice solution. They'll configure the software, train you, and even give you a helping hand whenever you need it. And when you get into a little spot of trouble, these support folks will save the day. And let's not forget Billy. Billy is the office dog. Billy only works on Thursdays. As you can see, people working at SuperOffice are almost normal, just like you and me. We love what we do, and we love how our product helps you to work more efficient every day. Join the club. Welcome to SuperOffice.
So it's my great honor to introduce you to our number one, our CEO, Gisle Jentoft.
Thank you, Tony. How are you? I was standing in the back there waiting, and I felt, shit, it's warm here. And I'm very excited to be talking to you, and I think Tony, he said it perfectly. He feels like he meets his, best friends every year, like this. Someone else asked me, how many participants do you have this year? Oh, it's about the same as last year. And then he said, yeah, it's also about the same people as last year. You are very, very important to SuperOffice. In my short presentation today, about 45, 50 minutes maybe, I will try to emphasize the role of the partners in the journey we're in the middle of. So to the customers who are listening or watching, keep in mind what I'm saying is mostly directed towards the partners. But I think also the customers will find it interesting, hopefully. I think this is maybe exaggerating it a little bit, Tony. I feel that I have a lot of fantastic people with me in that context. But let's get going. These are the topics that I will talk about. I'm not going to go through the agenda because we have a little bit limited time. But it's a little variety in here. And as usual, I'm not going to dive into technologies and development trends and so on, but I will talk about some other trends that we see. It's simply impossible to not talk about Une. He passed away, as you, well, I think all of you know, in March this year. Very tragic, very sad to me, to everyone in SuperOffice, obviously, his family, and everyone who knew him. He was really a unique guy. I think in all senses of the word unique. The good thing is that he left a very, very visible footprint. And his spirit will always be with me and with everyone else in SuperOffice. And it will also be a footprint that will define also the way moving forward for this company. Due to Une's tragic departure, of course, I get, what happens now? Who owns what now? Is the direction going to change? So that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about those things. This is the owner structure of SuperOffice. As you see here, this is SuperOffice AS, the headquarter, if you want, development, and the company that owns all the subsidiaries. And then when the company went off the stock exchange, this was the company that did that, Super Invest. Management and board of directors is the same in those two companies. Uneco, which was and still is the Amundsen family's company, still owns SuperOffice by 60.2%. And Wenche, Une's wife, is now holding the shares that Une used to control in that company. Then we have some other people owning 17.6%. These two have the same color because they are somewhat in agreement or familiar with each other and have a very common view on the future. And then we have Visma, a very close friend, but they are not as close as the two green ones. But we work very well with Visma, and they have been for a long time in this ownership position, and they still are. So that's how that looks. We also had to make a change in the board of directors. Une had made a little preparation list for that. So we call him the boogeyman, and you probably see why. Don't you see how he looks? Oddbjørn is a very close business partner of Une, part of the Apple business for a long time, very good friend. So he is now the new chairman of the board. Guttorm was on the board already, and Øystein Moen, a very valuable member of the board, was there already, and we have also now Joachim, the son of Une, on the board of directors. So those are the people that I have to report to. Well, I was trying to show that I have to go down on my knees and say, please, can we do this? The management, we also made a change. Une, he was very occupied with marketing. I think that was his favorite topic. So with him missing in the management team, we invited Jennifer, our fantastic chief marketing officer, into the management, which we're very happy about. So then about where are we heading? This is not very revolutionizing, but as you see here, we are, and this is what the owners want us to do, is to continue running a future-proof CRM-oriented software company. We're not going to start doing something else, so we're sticking to what we have always been doing. It says modern and future-oriented software. They share our belief that the future is in the cloud and in web-based software, obviously. It's a very clear statement. They and we share also the idea and the plan that we need to transform into a pure subscription-based model. And we have some growth targets and they are organic, that by 2019 or 20, this is a little bit flexible, we are on our way to 500 million NOK in revenues. And how many of you have heard about Superland? Oh, fantastic. Superland is here to stay. We are doing some changes to it in the time ahead. But this is important for SuperOffice. This is also where the spirit of Une comes into play. We do things differently. We dare to be different. And that's why I think we, together with you, have come into this position that we have. We deliver, as it says, CRM with a smile, and we really focus on having fun on the way. Do you have fun every day? I hope so. It's very important. I read someone yesterday who said on the fairway of life, something, because you only play one round. Fairway is golf, if you didn't know that. So it's a good point. So make sure you have fun on every hole. This is the journey we are on. And I think most of you are on the same journey. If you are not, I hope that what I will show you now will at least have you start thinking about joining this journey. Back in 2015, we were convinced that this cloud thing is here to stay. It had some things around it that we said, you know, this is just a no-brainer if you look at it from a customer point of view. So we took a very bold step in June 2015, and then I was also afterwards at the Expander World talking about it, the new price model and so on. Then I was talking about what I knew was going to happen, but I didn't know what the effects were going to be. Now today I'm going to talk about what we see happened for these 2 years. It's about going to cloud first. It's about you guys, the partners with the App Store, very important. It's about going to a subscription model. And Guttorm, he forced me to say this or to write it here. I don't want to mention it, but you can read it if you want. It's obviously important to a lot of customers. We're still with it, but it's not the future. We have worked with IDC to get a little bit bigger glasses on the market, what's happening out there. And what they find, if you see here, this is the overall cloud adoption. They asked back in 2016, 11,000 companies. So it's quite representative. And it says 60% are already embracing and 20% are deploying. Okay, what does our figure look like? 89.8% of our new customers so far this year choose the cloud. And we have an option for them. IDC also in general asked business people, what are your top priorities? Number one here, I don't know how this thing works. There it is. It says reduce cost. Then it says improve business processes, improve product quality, and a few other. Does any of these have anything to do or with the cloud? In my opinion, reduce cost is definitely very in line with what's happening in the cloud. And I think also, as you see, the way businesses want to improve business processes today is through what? Automation. And automation seems to be more effectively available in the cloud, and I will talk about that a little bit later. So at least two things that fit well here. If you look at what IT people are saying, what are they occupied with? Improve IT security. Does any one of you think we will have less cybercrime in a year or in 5 years from now? I think we have only seen the beginning of it. So that's why these guys are very, very concerned about security. The other, very, very interesting and very, of course, good, improve the service to end users, reduce control overall IT costs. Very few IT people experience that they get more people in their team all the time. So they need to become more efficient. Implement or upgrade business applications, and here, improve IT security. Do you think a data center, the one that we use, other cloud services use, is more secure than the server many businesses have around in their environment? Definitely. So again, the reduced cost, implementation of and upgrade of business applications. We have upgraded CRM Online every third week so far this year. And the customers and the IT people enjoy it without lifting a finger, basically. So this matches quite well. This is another driver behind it, what I said, digitalization, automation, and this is what IDC is writing about it. It's quite massive how companies look at how they can digitally approach their customers, partners, potential customers, and so on. And I think you all know what I'm talking about. And this is actually at the heart of what SuperOffice is doing. So we're in the middle of this. And Guttorm will talk more about our thoughts in this area. Then to CRM Online. I'm, of course, not objective here. It's a little bit of marketing in this, of course. But as I see with, and you can read what's on the slide, this is why people and customers choose to go there. It's simpler, it's more secure, it scales better, and it simply lets the business focus more on the business and less on technology at a better price in the long-term picture. That's what it is. Still, even though we are so convinced about the cloud, we know that all our customers are in different stages in where and when they can make a change. I still haven't talked to any customers that they don't have a cloud plan. But they're very in doubt about when it will happen due to, for example, investments they have recently made. It could be legacy systems and other things that also are integrated that makes this plan take a little bit longer. But most have a clear cloud plan. You know this, our price model. And if you are an existing customer, I talked to one of my German colleagues here. He said that many German companies in the manufacturing industry that we have a lot of customers that say, yes, this is maybe a little bit longer term for us, so we will upgrade. And upgrading now with GDPR, I'm going to talk about that a little bit too, is something which is high on every customer's and company's agenda. If you are a new customer, these are the options, and they can, like this, choose to say, no, we run SuperOffice on site. But 89.8% choose the cloud, because for them it's the right choice. Just some other numbers here to really rub in what's happening out there. In the last 18 months, we have migrated, that's what we call it, 637 existing customers who used to have SuperOffice on-premise. Not because we forced them to, but because they wanted to. Today, this is the 89.9% of the new customers. I already mentioned that a couple of times. Another interesting figure is that last year, 20% of our existing customers were in the cloud. Now it's 43.5%. So it's quite clear what is happening. I will also talk a little bit about the financial side, because I have to admit this journey to the cloud is painful. There's no doubt about it. It's painful sometimes for the customer because you have to change quite a lot of the integrations and so on that you have made. It's painful for us as a software company because we are down in our profits. But that's the way it is. But a few numbers then. This is what we see you all know that we are counting recurring revenues. All our partners, software partners, ISVs, are also doing the same. So this is the online recurring revenue, started at 50 million and is now approaching 80 this year. So it's 55% up. If you look at the financial picture of SuperOffice, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We are we have a very financially sound company. We made almost 365 million in revenues last year, and the EBITDA was 60. But as you see here in this is the profit line. Since we started in 2015, we are planning on and we are experiencing a dip in profits. Several reasons for it, but this down here is that we are not, when you're selling hot dogs, you know, you have to pay first and then you get the hot dog. That's the old model. In today's model, you sign up for a subscription and we book the revenues later and we push revenues in front of us. That is painful. But do we have a choice? Do you think, based on the trends that I've just shown you? This is where the customers are going, and they're going to continue going there. It will take time, and we are going to support them together with you, but I think it has to become very clear to everyone what's happening. The App Store. I think this has also been, I talked to some of you before we started, and I think you agreed that this has been painful. Because you used to be, or still are, successful with traditional integrations with SuperOffice, or apps for SuperOffice. And then you had to start making investments in this App Store that Guttorm was nagging about year after year after year. Now we have to get started. And in the beginning, oh, yeah, we have made this great software, but there's not too many buying. So it has been also for you, of course, a little bit of a challenging period. But I just want to emphasize that you are also obviously part of this picture. I will show you how the development in the number of apps and in the usage of the apps looks. But these words, standardized, robust, scalable, flexible, secure. Back to upgrading every third week. So every third week, the customers are able to consume the latest features automatically. They don't have to hire anyone to install it or anything like that. Pure and simple. Every time your integration to SuperOffice is also part of this upgrade. And I've asked Guttorm and Catherine and Tony and all the people in the operations center and so on, how does this actually work? And it works extremely well. There is almost no pain whatsoever, isn't that right, Catherine? And I think, I want to, give you a big hand, you guys, for... Because we know that SuperOffice has always been based on SuperOffice together with one or more of the applications and expanders that you guys make. So when the customers want to go to the cloud, then you understand how important you are in this picture. And I'm really, really proud of what you are delivering to our customers in such a standardized, robust, scalable, flexible, and secure way. Fantastic. Things are growing. I guess if you are in the App Store, you don't want too many other people there. Is that? No. I think we can grow a little bit more. But like in 2015, we had 15 apps. So, if you open a shop and you have 15 products, okay. But they were great products that many customers wanted. doubled until last year. And now we are at 51 today. And Catherine tells me that it will be approximately 60 by the end of the year. Among these 60 apps, you find a large number of the most used ERP software solutions that you can integrate with. So if you take these 51, you will find the needs of most of our customers covered, meaning that there is, of course, you can always have the custom opportunity and use that, but we cover a very large portion of the needs out there. And that's fantastic. This one is maybe more important to our partners, that people are, or the customers are using the apps more. These are the so-called app approvals that are generated when customers say yes and buy an app from one of you partners. I think we can do more together. We are working very closely with Infobridge, as you know, from even before the App Store. We have just announced that we are going to work a little bit closer also to eMarketer. And I don't want to, promise too much, but we are in this together. It's not something you do alone, and we need to bring this together, and because the customer buys a solution, not a product. And your role in that is critical to us. Do you agree so far, or no? No one. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. A few words about some other things. Automation, and I think this is really a topic that you guys are interested in. I don't think I will be able to tell the story so that you really find it interesting. But the point is that I think your role in making the standardized expanders of SuperOffice is critical. But we also see that we have a large number of customers, some not too many in the cloud yet, who are in a position where they need to do or want to do more. You know that. Yes. And we have an answer to them. So I just want to give you a few examples on what we are doing in SuperOffice, with our own tools. And if there's only one thing I can prove with it, is that we have the capabilities and that we're taking on our own medicine. I showed you this slide last year. We have made a quite large investment and change in our so-called quote-to-cash process. And the goal has been to automate it, because these tasks don't really make sense to have any human person doing. And it doesn't scale well. So this is automated, and it's from the moment that a salesperson writes a quote, with quote, of course, is integrated to the licensing system and the ERP system, and the whole process from you press the order through to the provisioning and the invoicing is sent is automized. And it's possible. And we're using a lot of our development tools in this picture. Another aspect of being in the subscription business, what is that? Do you think customer experience or satisfaction becomes more or less important? More, yes. Because if you in the old days, they basically took all the money they had in their pocket and they pushed it over the table, and I will buy your software. Now they don't do that. They keep all the money in their pocket and they take out a little bit and they pay every month. That model, of course, puts the supplier in a different position. because you have to, unlike if the customer had made a large investment, their internal obligation to make it work was higher. So now we have to deliver a good experience over and over and over again. So I think the balance between the supplier and the customer is more sound. So obviously we are also investing in automation related to providing that customer experience. Big data is not one of my normal words, but in a SuperOffice database there is a lot of customer transactions. And the longer you use it, the more you use it, the more valuable data you find in there. And that's what we use. We have something called orphans. And this guy can be an orphan, right? Doesn't look very happy. What it does, what we mean by an orphan, is a customer who has been forgotten. And forgotten has to be defined, because we have made a customer program, which is like, if you are this type of customer, you should receive this kind of attention from us. If you're this kind of customer, you have maybe a different set of activities that should be performed. And if the customer does something in the process, of course that also adapts into it. So if the customer invites you to a meeting, you don't have to the next day call and say, I want a meeting, because then it's already done, right? But this, using a script, CRM script, we analyze the whole database and we find which customers have fallen out of the customer program, because there are timelines in it. So we find all these guys, they are put into a selection, very targeted, and it helps us prioritize which customers need attention. Because you know how it is, if you're in sales or in another customer-facing role, it's very easy to go to the customers you know the best, the ones you like the most, your highest, most, the biggest purchasing customer, the one with the best lunch. This doesn't happen here. It's optimized, and those who need the attention get the attention, so that we can turn them around to become more happy. This is, by the way, standard SuperOffice out of the box with the CRM script that Sverre announced last year. I didn't make the script, though. I'm learning. You know, if you go to hospital and you're really sick, you are hooked up to this monitor. And there is not, having a straight line is not good news. So that's why you want to see things going up. It is okay that it goes down and it goes up, and it is a little bit, there are cycles also in CRM. Our smart people have made something we call Heartbeat, and it's scoring customers based on what they do and what they don't. But I have to emphasize, everything is according to our agreement with our customers, and everything is anonymized. Everything is done on company level. And the whole point here is that we want to assist our customers when they need it. This makes our follow-up programs, together with our partners, much more relevant. I think it's quite annoying to be called by people who, oh, I can help you with this. Yeah, but we don't need help. You should know that. So we use this information that we get from the customer's usage to follow up and provide the right customer experience. If you wonder why I'm saying that, why am I telling it? Should it be a secret, do you think? No. GDPR is also coming along, guys. Nothing like this is a secret. One more thing that we're doing is, how many knows NPS or Net Promoter Score, what that is? Okay, a few guys and girls. We just launched NPS in SuperOffice, and the reason for it is that we want to know who are very happy, who are the promoters, and who are the so-called detractors, who are not so happy. And the difference between how many promoters and how many detractors you have turns into your NPS score. Today, I think, I haven't looked today, but yesterday it was -14. We just started. And that's what it's all about, Hans Christian is telling me. It's finding out where you are, and then it's time to go to work to improve it. But anyways, many companies around the world are measuring NPS. And they have this beautiful NPS solution over here, which is specialized for that. And they, how do they get the data over there? And how do they get the results back to the systems that the salespeople use? Because they have to do the follow-up. That's the whole point. So we used a cloud service called Customer Gauge. It's a Dutch company. They are really specialized in NPS. But we have, with our own tools, using the net server, the CRM script, and all the other possibilities we have, made sure that the recipients are pulled from SuperOffice, sent to Customer Gauge. They distribute pop the question to the customer, harvest the results, and they push the results back into SuperOffice. Because in SuperOffice, this is where our people work. So we want SuperOffice to be the only, if possible, application the user is facing. So all the scores end up as a ticket in SuperOffice to the right person, the account manager, and so on, so we can easily and quickly respond when needed. This is how it's done. And even though if I had an hour, I would not be able to sort of... But Øyvind Solberg, are you here? Yeah, he's over there in the corner. He explains this really well, and I think it's interesting if you want to know how this is done. My point is pure and simple, that we have all the automation possibilities you can want. We are taking our own medicine, so we actually are practicing quite hard ourselves. And we have the right tools for the job. And I think during Expander World this year, you will learn more about how to use these tools. And I hope you will find that both interesting and inspiring. I'm approaching the end here. GDPR, does anyone not know what GDPR is? No one dared to say it. Is it an opportunity? How many think it's an opportunity? Almost everyone. And how many think it is a threat? Yes, also someone. That's great. I think it was about time. Guttorm, are you going to talk about the ERP and that thing? No? But the envious position we have been in, or they have been in? Yep. Yes, okay, then I'm not going to talk about it. But to me, I think this is really good news, not for SuperOffice, but for anyone who's interested in CRM and who takes CRM seriously. Because that's about relationships, it's about customers, it's about transparency, creating expectations both ways, delivering on them. And I think here we are getting some really fantastic ground rules that we all have to play by. So that's how I look at it. Of course, the territorial scope, meaning that all Yankees and Asians and whoever wants to sell and store personal data about Europeans, sell to them and store data about them, have to follow the rules, GDPR. That's why I think it will have a global impact over time. There are, of course, this is what the EU has been talking a lot about. There are big fines. That's, I think they have put too much attention on that and too little on what the opportunities are. But over there on the right side, consent is basically what this is all about. If you want to store me, I have to say yes. And I think that's great. If you want to send me something, I have to say yes. Or I have to ask for it on a website using a form. And I think that's fantastic too. I think I'm very close to actually throwing my email system away due to idiots who are not following. They have no respect for consumers or potential customers. They spam them to death. And that's why I hate email. And I hope that GDPR will be the savior. It will create some challenges. We have to be better in many areas, but I think it's about time. The so-called data subject rights, very legal term, the rights that we all get as individuals are built into SuperOffice. If you lose my data, someone broke in and you have lost my data, my credit card information, whatever, you have to notify. Quite common. I have the right to access and to correct the information that you have about me. I have the right to ask you to forget about me. I wonder how that's going to be with Google. If you ask them, can you please forget about me, Google? But anyways, it's not that difficult to understand, and I think it's a very good rule. Whether people will ask Google to forget them, I don't know. But they have to deliver value. That's the point. You have a right to say that I want to bring my data and it's like the insurance companies have always done. I've been driving for 10 years without having an accident, so when I switch to this other insurance company, I bring all my benefits with me. Music between Spotify and Apple Music maybe, and so on. That's the purpose of it. Quite common. Privacy by design, that's where also software comes into the picture. We have to keep this in mind when we design the software, and then that's what Guttorm is going to talk about. And this one, security, it says personal data have to be stored safely. So, Guttorm will talk more about that. What are we going to do in 2018? Of course, like we always have done, we're going to find, catch, and keep more customers. We're going to drive our contract value, and this is because this is what we are selling. It's not the hot dog where you sell and get the money and then deliver the hot dog. It's subscription based. We are going to work with customer experience so that fewer customers want to leave us. And we are going to help our customers because we have seen everything points in the direction of the cloud. That's where the market and the customers want to go. And it's our job to help them move when they are ready. So that's what we're going to focus on moving forward. And as I said, I don't think we can say this often enough. We have to earn the relationship every day, every week, every month. It's quite tough. And I think we are putting more effort into this than ever before to deliver on it, both with the human approach, but also in the digital arena. So that's what That's all I had to say. I heard that at I think it was an Apple event. It was one of the developers came onto the stage and he presented something awesome, and then he came on. He stood like this, and then he was talking for quite some time. And then afterwards he said, that's all I had to say, thank you. And then he just marched off the stage. I had to tell that story because Guttorm is fiddling with his microphone.